Hey, welcome everybody. Welcome to Local Lead Driver bonus module. We're going to get some outsourcing secrets. Brian, you on the call with us?
Yes, I'm here. Will you change me to organizer when you can, Sid?
I will. I'll do it right now. We'll get a.
Yep,
we'll
I'm here, and
everything.
Man, more important than me, do we have Nick on the call today?
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Nick.
I'm here.
What's happening, buddy?
I've been drinking tea with lemon all morning.
Your voice sounds better in the last hour, Nikki.
I'm telling you, I think I was so worried about losing my vision that my voice came back.
Well, Nick, what we thought we would do is let's start by welcoming everybody to the call. Couple hundred of you here, and we appreciate it. It'll be recorded, and anybody will have access to it later. We want to thank you for being clients and customers, and we want to wish you a happy holidays, I guess, in case you drop off early. We'll say it again at the end. But we're very pleased, Sid and I are pleased to have Nick Klimek with us, and Nick is going to the best of his ability, share some secrets, take questions, and try to help as many people as we can. Now, the one point we got to get out is apparently Nick has lost his voice. Sid, is that right?
Yeah.
I'm trying to get it back, but yeah, at some point it was completely gone.
Okay, Nick. So what I did to try to help you is I took some of the questions and comments and stuff from people, and I just posed some simple questions on some slides that we can use to spur discussion. So for everybody on the call, feel free to ask us other questions. Ask Nick really more than us, but these will serve to start us off. And from here, we'll let you guys add on. So, Nick, I guess the whole idea here is that you are going to share some strategies, tips, and secrets that you use in your business fulfilling for, numerous people around the U.S. Actually, I think you have clients. Are you U.S. and Canada? Are you all over the world? Where's your customer base?
Yeah, actually, I have some Australia too.
Okay, U.S., Canada, Australia, good. Okay, that's even better. So the whole idea, you guys, is we want to get Nick to share the questions that you actually have that maybe Sid and I honestly don't know. Because in case you don't know, we send Nick all this kind of outsourcing work to do. And so, truth be told, some of you may not want to do it yourself and may want to hire Nick, and others of you may say, hey, I'd love to do this myself for a while. And the point is to help those of you in that situation learn some tips and strategies that you can employ for your business and for your new clients. Let's see, what do we have? All right, Nick, this is one of the biggest ones, man. What do you do to post for multiple businesses that maybe aren't all in Atlanta? Like Nick's in Atlanta, Sid and I are in Atlanta. What would you do, Nick? What's the approach to actually get an ad up in Birmingham, Miami, or Orlando, multiple cities, if you will, when you're located in a different city?
Right. I mean, there's different ways. The way I do it is, I think the simple way is basically by getting proxy service. I'm sorry, you're getting proxy service from the city you want to post in. The trick to it is that you kind of have to change everything over to that city. You can't have a proxy from Los Angeles and still use half of your system here and half there. You kind of have to flip over, and the biggest mistake that people use is they have stuff in their old email address and they access their regular email while they're in Los Angeles. You kind of have to switch over and have an account open from there. The whole thing has to be coming out as it is Los Angeles.
Now, Nick, we're getting some issues on audio for you. Sid, do you want to try to restate anything? Nick, and I know you're kind of recovering your voice, so we'll get Sid to restate when it makes sense. I just had a few people say they didn't catch all of it. So, Sid, he was talking about proxies, I believe, right?
Yeah, he's talking about getting proxies. Just explain exactly, because I know there's some different proxies, Nick. What exactly kind of proxies do you have to get?
You have to make sure that you get private proxies.
Private proxies.
That can be used by anybody. Because you don't want to get a proxy that somebody else is using for you.
Okay, so can you give us an example where you would find a private proxy?
There are several websites that if you Google it, the one I'm using is the SSI. And
SSI?
Mm-hmm. I will pull up a name here shortly. The name is SSI, but I will pull up what the exact name is again. And they're not expensive.
A lot of people, real quick, a lot of people are asking about hide my ass proxies because that's, obviously a common one. No, those are the wrong ones. I thought I remembered hearing that.
Right. You don't want to hide yourself. It's not about hiding yourself. It's about positioning yourself where you want to post.
Okay. It's not about hiding yourself. It's about positioning yourself where you want to post. So, meaning when you find you're talking about a private proxy, you want to be able to make it look like you're in that city more so than hiding yourself.
Exactly. In other words, if somebody will call you and it says caller ID blocked, I'm not going to answer the phone.
Right.
But if somebody shows it's calling from Los Angeles, I'm going to answer it.
Okay.
Kind of the same thing appears to Craigslist.
Now, Nick, I know a lot of people are going to ask this. Are you posting manually or are you using software?
I don't use any software.
He uses no software. He does everything manual. If you use a software is more for like what we were doing with automotive, where it was putting up mass posts.
It's great if you have one post that you want to shoot out. But if you have 18 different plumbers, it will almost take you as much time to program the software as if it would if you did it manually.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys, you know what? I see that.
It takes as much time to program the software as it would take you to do it manually. Plus, when you do it manually, you're able to massage it. When these poster things, all they are is bots. All those posting softwares is a bot type software. So it's going to do the same thing, each keystroke and what it's told to do each time. It makes it real tough. And if one thing changes on Craigslist, like when they added in the mileage field, it threw the whole thing off. So he posts manually. And
right.
Okay.
Nick, whatever you can do.
Out of it. Nobody can hear you.
Nobody can hear you, and I know you're on a landline. You called in to try to give you as loud as you could. We're going to continue to repeat what Nick's saying, you guys, and I think part of it is he lost his voice, and the other part of it may be his connection. So Sid and I. Nah, I don't. Not for me. What about you, Sid?
No, you don't sound any better.
I don't think so, Nick. It's. I know you're on a landline. It shows you dialed in on a real phone, so I don't know. I don't know an easy fix. Let me move on to the next question right now. The next one that was very common that a lot of us are talking about is there one or two times of day that are better than others to post? Do you find that you get more views, more calls, etc. if you post, say, at 9 a.m. than you do at 11 a.m.? Is there anything to the time of day?
No, I think normal business hours. Almost from 9 to 6 p.m.
So there is no special time, is that correct, Nick?
Yeah, no special time.
Okay. All right, and can we give out your proxy connection, or is that something you want to keep to yourself?
Yes, no, I'm going to give it out right now.
Okay. Give me the link. Let me put it in the chat box.
Okay. I was going to send it to you right now.
Yeah, so you guys, we can't fix the audio. There's no option. Just so you know, we're not intentionally having his audio sound like crap. Sometimes it's go to webinar. Nick, the only thing I can do is if you want to sign out and sign back in, that might help. But
no,
I'm not even.
It's not that, bro. He doesn't have a voice.
Yeah, so I think it really is the guy lost his voice. So
in case anybody can't tell.
The other thing is, yeah, Nick is his first language is Polish, not English. So you're going to have a heavy accent. But we will repeat and try to kind of anchor everything he says. And then if you want to drive into anything, you guys will help ask him. And we're watching the question box closely to try to help. So right now,
I said yakasimash, dobse dobra.
So now I understand you guys.
Let's see. So
the address.
All right, Nick, so time of day. There is no really business hours, pull the best. You don't post at, 11 at night is what you're saying.
No, unless it's like a 24-hour service that sometimes needs to, but no.
Okay. All right, so and did you put in the chat box, Sid? You guys, if you look in the chat box, in the GoToWebinar chat box, Nick just shared, and let me share it to you. He sent it just to us. Give me one sec. This is the service that Nick uses for proxies. It's sslprivateproxy.com. For those of you that want to do it yourself and want to emulate the model that he uses, which has been very successful for us, you can use SSL Private Proxy to help you. And there's an option there, Nick. Is there a choice there for classified ad proxies?
That is correct, yes. That's what I'm following right now.
And you guys, they start at $2.60 a month. But that is exactly what you do. All right, so I'm going to go to the next one, Sid. Hang on one sec. Nick, okay, so speaking of Craigslist and Backpage specifically, there's a lot of, I guess, flagging or ghosting of ads. What can they do to maximize the percentage of ads that actually go live, if you will?
They will ghost your ad. Flagging and ghost is pretty much the same. The reason why they're doing the ghosting is because software doesn't detect when it's ghosted. It will appear that it's online, it's not. Versus if they're just flagging, then the software you're using to post can detect it. That's the only difference.
Okay, so
doing something wrong to post the ad. In most cases, you probably repeated the title or the content of the ad exactly, and we posted it.
Let me repeat that real quick, Nick, because I know what you're saying. If you run the exact same ad, it will get caught by Craigslist. You have to actually spin, for a better lack of words, you got to spin it. You got to spin the ads. They got to be different each time. So you don't want to post the exact same ad over and over and over because they're going to see multiples and then flag out. They call it the green ghost. The reason why they call it the green ghost is because whenever you're posting, it still shows a green line in your posting board, but it's ghosting.
You can go for days thinking that your ads are online and nobody's calling when they're not online.
Right. You spin the entire content. Just change it around. You got to rewrite the ads, and that's another reason why manually writing the ad, he manually writes every single ad, is because he can then change it. If he uses a bot or a posting service, it's not going to spin the ad enough for it.
So Nick or Sid, is the flagging or ghosting done by Craigslist Backpage or by the actual other members of the site?
Both.
Both. Okay, I figured that was the answer.
If your app gets ghosted within the first 2-3 minutes, it's by the server, it's by the computer. But if then your app gets flagged about an hour later, that's just the dedicated army of Craigslist soldiers that picked up your app.
So what Nick's speaking of there is if your ad gets ghosted or flagged, if you will, on Backpage or Craigslist, if it happens after the initial posting down the road a little bit, that is competitors or zealous other people that feel like they need to blacklist your ad. And there's no real rhyme or reason to it. Most of the time it's jealousy. I don't know if they have nothing else to do. It's competitors in some instance we've seen. But all right, fair enough. Well, I'll ask you more about flagging and ghosting in a few minutes when we get into graphical and text ads. But for right now, let's...
I want to just touch something really quick because I hear that ghosting have been flagging by competitors. They have changed the requirements for where it used to be, 3-4 times that the ad was off. You would really need to pay somebody to sit there and flag them because it takes about 30 different IPs to get somebody flagged. So if you think that your competitor is flagging you now, they're not.
No, most likely probably not. Now, when Nick and I used to flip cars, and I've told a lot of people on the call they heard about it. When Nick and I used to flip cars a few years back, and we flipped them on Craigslist, and we had some competitors, or if we listed a car that had a car similar to ours at a lesser price, we would all log in through our phones and our home software and flag them. And once we would flag from several different IPs, we normally could get them off.
Right. And what they did now is they just raised the amount needed to be flagged because people were complaining.
Okay, so
now we would have to use 30, 40 different IP addresses to get somebody flagged.
All right, so Nick, let me restate. The takeaway is competitors are no longer responsible for your ads being flagged or ghosted, right?
No, not as often as you think.
Okay, Sid, anything else you want to add on this one?
Jim's telling us that he's had a competitor that actually contacted him, and it is possible. It's just unlikely.
All right, Nick, I know this is a big one. I got about 50 people asking this at least. What's hot? Now, keeping it, if you can, towards local businesses rather than, online. I know you do a little bit of both, but what's really hot in generating lots of calls across your client base? Is there one or two markets that just seem to generate a heck of a lot of calls?
Yes. Obviously, your roofers, your plumbers, handyman, any kind of a home improvement niche is very hot right
now. Okay, so I would agree. I mean, I guess just because I've done those niches with you a lot, the home improvement niche is very hot. So AC, roofing, septic. Handyman, it seems to be bigger than all the other ones, in my opinion. I mean, just look. I'm seeing a lot of what you guys send in. The one sending in handyman. What was the other one, Sid, that was really big?
Mobile mechanic.
Mobile mechanic was like ridiculous.
Hey, we turned on a guy at the beginning of the summer on paintless dent removal. Like those guys that take dents out of your car. The guy literally called us back and told us to quit after 4 days. He couldn't do it.
Right. That was funny, right? He said he couldn't handle the calls.
Yeah, I mean, so contractors. Now, Nick, what about, a lot of people have been asking me, what about dentists? There was a few discussions in one of the Facebook groups. I just don't see dentists as a viable fit in this market. I'm not saying they're not a good fit for pay-per-lead. I just don't see them using our directory strategy. What do you see? Do you have anybody that's successful with dentists?
I really don't. And I tried a couple of times. It just didn't produce the leads.
Makes sense to me. Yeah, I just don't see it, you guys. If you think of the psychology of the buyer, right, on a Craigslist, Backpage, Kijiji, a directory site, they're not looking for dentists. They're looking for a deal.
Right. Would you ever go to Craigslist to look for a dentist?
I wouldn't, Sid. Honestly,
I personally never would.
No.
I'm looking at Craigslist more like replacement for Yellow Pages. There's some things I would look for Yellow Pages, but some that I would not.
Let me ask you right now while we're on this question. I'm going through the Q&A. What about insurance? Have you seen anybody successful with the usual kind of local insurance agent stuff?
I did insurance for a couple of the guys, and we had, we did okay, and then we did a couple that were nationwide that didn't do so good. So I guess as long as you keep it local, is the key.
Yeah, so you guys, I would definitely test that. That's one of those that your mileage is going to vary, but it sounds like it's worth testing out. I saw a few of you asking. What about, yeah, Robert just said no real success with dentists. What about towing? Jesse was asking about towing.
Yes. Yes, it's actually, I hope you will get through. I'm not sure how my voice sounds, but we have an account in Texas we generated over 120 leads towing within 72 hours. The problem was finding the tow truck drivers because they were so busy that we have, we only sold about 10% of the leads because it was just so busy. We didn't have anybody to buy it.
Nick, okay, so I don't know much about the towing space. Do you know what I know who you're talking about. Do you know what he was charging per lead?
I really don't. He was trying to do it to where, you could log in and pick your own leads and buy them and stuff. And I think that we just got overwhelmed with the amount of leads and not enough buyers for it,
Hey, the last thing people do is pay Nick $189 a month to post his leads and then brag to him how much they sell their leads for.
Yeah, I guess you're right, Sid. Sorry. So towing is a good one, and I've heard that from others. What about Rebecca Happy up in Canada said, what about snow removal? I think that's a good one, Nick. What do you think?
Absolutely. Those temporary or seasonal, they work very well. Flash sales, Actually, the latest one is the tickets. I never realized that. But if you have some kind of a deal, or if you affiliate with a company that sells tickets for the events, it's huge. It's unbelievable.
Wait a minute, Nick, I lost you on that. Sid, did you pick up, what was the other one?
He said anything that's like seasonal like that, where everybody's in a mad rush to like get the snow off their roof or get the snow off their driveway, is going to be very, obviously a really hot trend. And
okay,
I think
you know what I'm running ads for right now? You can rent a Santa Claus. I have an old man that I'm running an ad for. You can rent them as a Santa Claus to come to your house.
Wow.
Oh,
yeah, that's one of those things, you don't know what you don't know. I mean, that's an interesting one.
Right.
He had 27 phone calls last week.
Yeah.
What about a tax service? What about income tax? I think that falls into the same category, right?
Very hot, yes.
So, Yvonne, tax for sure. What about real estate? A few people asking about real estate. I know you told me in Texas you did a few real estate clients. Is that right?
Yes, and they all seem to be coming very, very nice on all the houses under 150 grand.
So low-end property pulls, high-end property probably doesn't.
Yep. He sold 4 houses in about 3 weeks. They were all under 150,000.
Wow. Yeah, but that's still good money if you're a realtor. That's very good. Okay. Yeah, you guys, for those of you that can't understand him, like Patrick and a few others, I totally understand. Sid and I are trying to repeat and, kind of underscore the point. If you weren't on at the beginning, the guy lost his voice completely, and you combine the voice with the accent, it's definitely tough. And we'll probably do multiple calls down the road, so don't feel like this is one of those things you get one call. We'll do lots of stuff because the goal is to get everybody profitable. I will tell you on a quick aside, I've had 10 people reach out to me, including Carrie on vacation that already landed a deal. So very cool. Elaine's asking, how much do you charge the handyman for the lead? Now, Nick, you're not selling to the handyman. You're selling to the marketer. Is that right?
Actually, I'm doing a handyman a favor. He's a good friend of mine. I don't charge him anything. He needs some help, so I post the leads. We never realized that it's going to be that many.
Yeah, Elaine, I would look in the Facebook group, look at the Service Magic Home Advisor pricing I posted, and look at the shared lead pricing for handyman, and then maybe offer an exclusive lead for somewhere around that price.
Right.
It's an easy way to kind of get out there. Let's see. Yes, Santa Claus, a couple people, yeah. Nick, what was the seasonal business that you got 27 calls on, Elaine was asking?
Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
That was Santa Claus. Hey, you guys, while we're on this topic, Lance Brown just said, wedding minister, he's getting 50 to 60 leads per month, and he charges $10 a pop. Pretty good, guys.
I didn't know there was that many people out there wanting to get married.
Man, it's a profitable business, I guess. Very, very profitable. All right, this one isn't exactly local, but I want to share it anyway. Nick, I know you have experience in this. Clarence just asked about concert tickets. You want to talk about that for a minute?
It's very hot. I never realized how hot it is. Every friend I have always buys tickets on Craigslist, and then I had a friend of mine that sells them asked me to run smarts for him, and he basically sold out of tickets within a couple of hours.
Wow. Yeah, tickets are hot, guys. Sporting events. Like, I just bought tickets off Craigslist, of all places, for the FSU Auburn national title game. And let me tell you, before I sent that money today, I did my homework on that person. I checked her Facebook. You know, I sent $30-something $100 for 6 tickets. So if I was buying concert tickets, maybe I wouldn't be as vigilant. But people are out there. They buy them. I bought concert tickets off Craigslist because you want better seats than maybe what you got on your own, or maybe you got shut out. So it's a good one, Clarence.
In California, they buy pot off Craigslist. That might be a hot lead.
Do you have that link?
I did when I was in California. No, I don't have that link.
Hey, you guys, the ticket idea, the legality in the U.S. varies by state. Some states outlaw the scalping, if you will, of tickets. Some states say it's okay. Now, Kristen, who I know, she's up in warm and sunny Minnesota. She got her Journey tickets on Craigslist. Now, Nick, are people doing an affiliate program for concerts? Is that how they do it, or do they buy and resell? Or do they just do an affiliate of StubHub?
I think it's affiliate. Now, about sending money, the guy I'm doing the post for, he meets people. So you don't have to send money anywhere.
Okay. Now, somebody asked about Handyman. I think it was you, Elaine. Glenn looked it up. Service Magic Home Advisor, they charge $12 to $15.
Sounds about right.
All right, let me go back to. I'm going to
let me ask you a personal question real quick, and I think we're all open enough to talk about it. Because in California, it's legal, and same in Colorado. If somebody asked you to post marijuana sales, would there be a reason? Would it be illegal for you to do it?
If it's illegal in Georgia.
Yeah, but could you post them in California?
Yes.
If I give you $189, would you post 3 times a day marijuana?
I'll post it anywhere you want me to.
Nick believes in free enterprise at its finest. Okay. Nick, talk to me about subject lines. How important is a subject line to getting that ad open? And have you seen different subject lines dramatically change the results on these type of directories?
Oh, it's huge. I mean, that's what gets you in the door.
Yeah, you guys, it's like email marketing. I mean, I'm taking your questions and putting them onto slides for Nick, but the reality is subject lines are key. And remember the psychology. On a budget, looking for somebody professional yet cheap. That's what these people want. So subject line is crucial. All right, this is a big one, Nick. I don't know if you see it. I just put it up. We have a lot of people, and you and I have been around the ringer on this one. Talk to us about graphical ads versus text ads, or even a hybrid where there's a graphic with a text ad. Have you seen one type pull better than all the others, or does it really vary by city or by niche? What do you think? What's the real answer here?
It's always the same. There is a answer for that. They both work. You don't want to look like you still want to look professional, but you don't want to overdo it. You want to have an ad that doesn't look like you're running a franchise. It's simple. I like text with pictures personally. I think it looks a little bit better.
Yeah, you guys. The reality is they all worked. You got to test them. My gut is text with keyword-rich text that can be found by searchers with a neat little picture is definitely better. The more polished the ad is, sometimes too polished will turn off the buyer and stop calls. Very important to think about. So Nick, when you post a couple times a day, do you vary the subject line with that graphical? Do you do one graphical ad, then a text ad? Is it 2 or 3 different ads a day when you do it? Or is it the same ad?
You have to, because you go back to what I said before, you kind of have to change it in order not to get spammed.
Yep. So the key is you can't do this with just one ad, you guys. You're going to need to make a few ads. And hey, back to the pot, the marijuana stuff, guys. In the U.S., it's still against federal law. A few people posted that, and they're right. It's also a violation of the TOS and Craigslist. And for what it's worth, I don't want to sit here and harp on it. I just saw a lot of people post it, and you're right. There's a bunch of things it violates. The 2 or 3 states that it's legal in, I think it's legislated so much that it'd be a lot of hoopla to jump through, you know. So just think about that before you do it. So, all right, we talked about the testing. What about putting the city name or zip code in the title? Does that help at all, or in the subject itself?
The zip code, yes.
All right, so zip code will help. Okay. Let's see. Yeah, Robert just wrote his gut, text with keywords found by searchers is better. This is my gut too, Robert. I agree completely. If the ad is too polished, someone thinks they can't afford that business and they're not even going to call.
Right.
Just think about it before you try to make an ad that looks like it needs to be in a, GQ magazine. Text with a phone number and a business name, and then certain psychological triggers like words like fast service, affordable pricing, licensed and bonded, whatever it is, financing, the words that push people over the edge who are on the fence. Okay? Let's see. Terrence in Curacao just said he would prefer outsourcing even though he only has a few clients. Actually, I can't see the rest of what he just wrote. Do you see it, Sid? It's lopping off.
Yeah, and I agree. I mean, for me, to prospect is what I want to spend most of my time. He said he wants to spend my time looking for clients. I'm the same way. Terrence, I would outsource it in a second, personally. And just move on and try and I'd rather be out trying to sign another $189 or another $550 a month than do $189 worth of work.
All right, so no, I couldn't agree more. I mean, the last thing, you guys, there's no harm in doing it yourself for a little bit, because the more once you've kind of tried it, you'll understand the value of outsourcing like nothing else. It's one of those things that it'll help you understand what you're doing, but you very quickly realize that you'll rather pass it out to somebody else. Now, Nick, go ahead, Sid.
There's one thing that I think is pretty important for us to discuss. So a lot of these places, we're talking about where you take an actual graphic ad, and aren't they ghosting that now, Nick? Where you told me one time a secret was.
No, what happened is they blocked some of the sections where you could use them.
Okay, so I know you used to use like Photo Bucket, and then that became a problem. So you started taking a picture of the ad and uploading the picture or the whole ad as a picture or something, and it got you around it. What was the deal with that?
You use Photo Bucket. You use Photo Bucket for those ads. What happened is Craigslist have blocked sections of like real estate where you can no longer do that. It will not accept HTML code.
Okay, Sid, will you repeat that? I'm sorry, Nick. I couldn't
translate it.
So you said Photo Bucket was being blocked, Nick? Is that what you're saying?
That is correct, yes. There are some sections on Craigslist that Photo Bucket is no longer accepted, or any kind of a website that will host the picture that you're posting.
Are you better off, Nick, just uploading the picture into Craigslist?
Yes, I mean, you are better off.
Yeah, and Paul Thornton just agreed with you. He said HTML is now being blocked in many sections. Dr. Keith Schaefer just said the same thing, etc. Okay. All right, I want to move on.
Can you answer why there appears to be so many roofer ads in Atlanta?
Because there's so much business.
It's because that's Nick posted them.
Half of them are mine.
All right, now, a lot of people in the U.S. understand and know Craigslist, Nick, and they believe in the traffic value. Talk to us specifically about Backpage. Is there value in Backpage, or are we just wasting people's time with it? Can you drive calls from Backpage traffic? Yes or no, I guess.
Yes.
Yes, okay. So in the U.S., obviously, we talk about a model with Craigslist and Backpage, and so you would agree that Backpage does bring calls and it really does work?
Yes.
Okay. Hey, listen, Nick, I want to tell you thanks for doing this call today, and I know, man, I know you have no voice because I know what you normally sound like, and, man, I really appreciate it. I know everybody else does, and we'll do another one where you can sound like normal, Nick, but we really do appreciate it, you guys. So,
thank you.
Yeah, a bunch of people. You guys, I'm not. Let's see. So.
You know what the funny part is that I don't sound much better.
Yeah. All right. Let me. What about hiding IP addresses? I know you talked about it earlier. This is one that I saw a few people in the groups talking about, and I wanted to make sure you could share your insight. Hiding IP to kind of recant what you said earlier. This is a mistake, right?
Yes. Do not hide your IP.
Okay. You want to use the proxy in that local market. You don't want to just hide yourself. So that whole hide my ass site, things like that are going to get you ghosted.
Hide my ass is designed that you can access the website you're not supposed to at work. And it's hiding your IP. It doesn't work for Craigslist.
Nick, what about
proxy? It's the wrong. You need to. You know how like in the automotive where we used to actually remote dial in. You want to do a proxy that's a local proxy. Is that correct? Yeah.
Hey, Nick, what about in terms of creating accounts in different cities and running ads? You can't do it from the same account, right? Do you need different ones in each city, or tell us how that would work? I saw somebody asking about different Craigslist accounts, and somebody was asking what a phone verified account was. Could you talk about that?
Yeah, basically once you have your IP from that city, you start from scratch. You open a new account. You have to have that account verified. And I have no problem with sharing anybody that I use for those things. If you want to email me, I'll be more than happy to share their info. You can buy what they call PVA, which is the phone number that you use to verify that account.
Excellent. Okay. So, guys, if you are wanting to do this yourself, at least right now, Nick's pretty transparent. He'll share where he buys these kind of things from for his team to use. So you will want to have, this is where it gets a little gray, you guys, so I'll be honest with you. You will want to have a phone verified separate account in that market, not the same one you do in Tacoma that you do in Miami, okay? Let's see. Next, Nick, I know you talked about this, but a lot of people were asking about posting ads using software. You know, everybody knows about CladG and programs like that, or bulk poster. And what about software to post? What about software to renew ads? Do you have any thoughts on those?
Yeah, I don't use any software.
Yeah, you guys, I will tell you that if you read the Craigslist terms of service, it says automated software, which both of these would fall in, is in violation. I'm not up to speed on the Backpage one, but I'm willing to bet it may be the same thing. So I think the reason that Nick's always gotten good results for us and our people is that it's all manual based. It's just work. You know, he's got an outsourced staff, if you will, that does the work. Now, Nick, when you have a new client and someone is coming to you and they want to run ads for handyman in Atlanta, Tampa, and Orlando, do you design the ads in the subject lines or do they do it?
I can help them do it. I would hate to do it, but obviously I'll help you. I'll show you some of the stuff I ran for somebody else. So maybe we could borrow.
So yeah, so you're saying, Nick, I didn't get it all. You're saying you could help them do it? I know you've.
Yes.
Okay, so you guys, you may have ideas. Nick can apply what he does, and I kind of work with him on mine. Like we have some ads, I'm like, hey, let's work this into the ad, and then we tweak it. I mean, it's not like I turn it over to Nick and then I disappear. I'm always like, hey, Nick, add this into the ad, or what about this? And it seems to work. I don't know the process, but I saw a bunch of you asking that. All right, Sid, I'm looking in the questions. Robert just said, Clad G, bulk poster. He's basically just saying do not use software. Yeah, Robert, you're repeating it.
No, he's doing our note. He's noting out. If we want.
Thanks, Robert. Clad G will renew and do that kind of stuff. You just have to ask yourself, do you want to use software? It'll just put you on the wrong side of the TOS. I think your mileage may vary. Some of you could be very successful with software, and some of you could find you're just going to get ghosted all the time.
No, I want you to understand that if you buy that $1,000 software, you still have to buy all the things that I'm buying in order for it to work. The numbers, the PDA numbers, and the proxies.
No, very good point, Nick. Nick, is there a way to run a test to see if your ads were ghosted? George Rogers is asking that.
I don't think I get it.
Let's say you've been posting for George for 2 weeks. How can George find out if the ads are live or if they're ghosted? That's his question.
Very simple. Go to the search box, and I usually put the last 4 digits of the phone number.
Okay. Yeah, George. Simple enough. He's searching on phone number as a unique key, and then you just look and see if it's coming up every day, and if it's not, then you got a problem. Craigslist isn't going to tell you.
Make sure that you choose service or sales on the box.
I'm sorry, Nick. Will you say that again, please?
On the search option, make sure that you choose, if your ad is in the service section, make sure that that's the section that you chose.
Okay, yeah, when you're doing a search that specific section. Apparently that's a common mistake. Sherry just said there are severe penalties for the poster in business if you're using automated software. So, good point. Let's see.
Now, as far as Backpage, I know you asked me about it. Backpage is pretty cool because it will let you schedule your renewals for multiple cities.
Okay, so let me repeat. A bunch of people are saying we weren't repeating enough, so let me try to do a better job. So Nick is saying with Backpage, one of the neat things you can do is you can schedule your renewal of the ad in multiple markets. And can you do that in Craigslist, Nick, or no?
No.
Nick, in terms of pricing, I know you've told me your price varies. Somebody wrote down $189 a month. Does it vary by niche and city? How does somebody get accurate pricing for their situation?
It depends. If you want to post in multiple cities where I have to buy multiple proxies, or if you want to post more than 4 or 5 ads a day.
Okay. So yeah, to repeat, Nick said his pricing varies based upon how many markets you're going to post in, how many times a day, etc. Now, Nick, For our Canadian friends on the call, I know you do Craigslist and Backpage. Are you also doing Kijiji?
Yes.
So Eric and others out there, Rebecca, yes. Let me see.
Nick, do you post on Backpage and Craigslist in your fee?
No.
No?
I'm sorry. What would you say? The Backpage and Craigslist and what?
For the 189, do you post in Craigslist and Backpage or just Craigslist?
No. 189 is only for Craigslist.
Only for Craigslist, okay.
I was going to say, because I pay you more than $189, so I don't know what the hell's going on here, by the way. Let's see. Do you have to be logged into an email account to post on Craigslist? That's Paul Lester here in Atlanta.
No.
Okay. Is it better if you're logged into an authenticated like PVA account, or what's the scoop on that?
No, because it will authenticate once you open an account.
Okay. Dwayne is asking, what's the biggest problem with Craigslist in Canada? And Dwayne, I can answer that one for you. Is that most of the users, the traffic is on Kijiji, not on Craigslist.
For the French speaking, yes.
Yep. Yeah, we will have a recording available, you guys, and I do realize that the audio is poor, and we'll probably do another call, and maybe we'll tighten it up a bit. We just, with November, December, with holidays and stuff, it starts to get kind of difficult, but we will do another call for everybody in the group, and we'll make sure you can sit in. Okay, so here's a good question from Elaine Albright, guys. Sid or Nick. Do you focus on a single niche and then do it in multiple cities? Or do you do, say, 5 niches in one city and just try to do that well? Sid first, what do you think about that?
Repeat the question. I'm sorry, Brian.
No problem. So do you focus on a single niche and then do it in multiple cities? Or do you take 5 niches and do them in one city, Sid?
No, I would take a single niche and then try and hit as many cities as possible.
Absolutely agree, yep.
So when you find a niche that seems to be working with your ads and pulling, the idea would be to take that to another city and another city, Elaine.
Right.
Sure,
now,
so much easier.
Yeah, because you've already done the legwork. You're making it a lot easier is his point.
You show the guy, hey, listen, this is what I do in this city. Why wouldn't you want to buy it from me?
So another thing, you guys, and I'll just share this, you in general want to have 2 clients signed up to receive leads from you per niche, because as you saw in some of the video or some of the screenshots we posted, sometimes as high as 20 and 30% of the calls don't get answered. And it'll make you sick when you see these calls you're generating and you're not earning revenue for them. So if you were to use ACT as a call tracker and do the round robin and send it to 2 different clients, that'd be really good. But you need to have the 2 clients. So Rebecca Happy asked the $1 million question, or is it the $64,000 question? Should we get clients before we post or after? Now, Rebecca, I personally say before. I think you can argue this either way, though, right, Sid?
Yeah. I think you should do whatever it takes to get a client. If you got to get them before, do it. If you got to post after, do it. Bottom line is, at the end of the day, if you have a client that's billing, that's a win.
So David Perkins in LA says, do you tell your clients about the round robin? No. I mean, it's none of their business. They're only getting billed for what they receive. Terrence agrees before. Let's see. Eric, I don't have a good price for like an accountant niche. Maybe we'll do that in the group. If anybody has some feedback on the accountant niche, and Eric's in Canada, that would be cool to share. Danny in New York. Danny is not Polish. He is, your background, Danny, was Czech or Slovakian? Man, you told me once. Have you had any background with kitchen or bathroom contractors? So like Specific contractors that remodel a kitchen or a bathroom, Nick.
Yes.
Is that a good one or no?
Yes, what I do basically, I do this for the handyman, a friend of mine. I run separate ads that are focusing on one kind of a job. And he's getting a pretty good response.
Got it. Now, Danny said he's Croatian. I knew that was it. I remember Danny was at one of our live events and brought a pretty cool drink that we all got to try. Very cool. So I'm looking for, I saw a good one. Yeah, a lot of feedback. I saw Elaine. Elaine just had a really good post, Elaine Albright. Yeah, it's like the shampoo. Where was it, Elaine? Here it is. Apply shampoo, guys. Find the niche that works. Rinse, repeat. Actually, that was Roberts. Sorry, guys. It's well said, though. Rinse and repeat. Once it works, duplicate. Okay. Let's see. Now, Ginger says she's actually getting them before. She's getting the clients first. Okay, Patrick, I came in late. Did you already talk about how to contact them outside of Craigslist? Patrick, tell me more about what you mean by that one, just so we understand, please. May not be pertinent. Hey, Sid, it's not letting me scroll on the questions. At 3:56, Joshua Campbell had a question. Do you see that one?
Yeah, I can scroll back up. Hold on.
He's asking about the ACT software. I guess the short answer is we're doing a call at 8 o'clock tonight, Joshua, if you want to sit in on it.
He's already offline, but he was asking, can you do the round robin with ACT? We'll talk about that tonight.
Yeah, but the answer is yes. But home security, is that a good niche? This is Larry asking.
Yes, very good niche.
So Larry, Nick says yes, home security is very good. Let's see. Is there a way to schedule postings on Craigslist? Jesse is asking Nick.
Sure, just tell me what time you want him to post.
No, if he was doing it directly into Craigslist.
Yeah, if he was doing it himself into Craigslist, is there like a scheduler?
No.
So, Jesse, there's no scheduler built in, no. Let's see. Yeah, Jim Lush, kitchen and bathroom was hot. That was a good one. You guys, on the ACT questions, if it's not an easy one, why don't I ask you to attend the call tonight and you can hammer on one of those guys, and then we'll make sure they answer all the hard questions. If you don't have a link for the call tonight, it's posted in the group as a pinned post or as an event in the group. I emailed it out, and I know Valerie did. So you should have an invite. If you don't, we'll try to find it and post it again for you here.
I'll put it in the chat box right now if you want.
Okay, yeah, Sid will put it in the chat box, guys, to make sure you have a way to join the call tonight. Let's see. I'm going to skip the ACT calls, you guys. How do I get on it? Just sign up on the link that Sid's posting. You're welcome to attend, and Sid will post it in chat in just a minute.
I'm doing it right now.
So Lance talks about what he does with the Chris Winters model, and Chris is a super guy. He espouses a model where you do the leads first, and he gives 2 to 3 days of leads. Lance, it's not letting me scroll, but I assume you're saying free as kind of a way to hook them. Let's see. You know what, you guys? Some of you probably aren't getting notification about the webinars. Here's what honestly happens, and this is the no BS answer. Some of you may have unsubscribed from our email before in the past, so that even though you bought and we try to send it to you, you'll never receive it because the email program prevents us from sending you email anymore. So it's just to keep us safe and to do the right thing. If that's not the case, then I blame the email gods. I don't know, but we'll put them in the we'll put it in the Facebook group. I know it's been in there, and I think Sid just posted it in the chat box. You should see it in there right now, you guys. All right, let's see.
Hey, I just been telling people on some of the other calls I've been doing, there would have to be a financial catastrophe or a national state of emergency for us not to record any calls. I can assure you we will always record every call. In fact, we pay a lady to do just that for us. Every call is recorded.
Yeah, honestly, you guys, we were doing them ourselves, and sometimes the calls weren't being recorded, so we realized that, boy, was that a mistake, and we actually hired somebody that's helping us, and she does an amazing job. So, Nick, John Guild in Colorado said, what about clickable ads on Craigslist? What are your thoughts on that?
No, they're not. They're actually, Craigslist will flag it. They will remove those ads.
Okay, John Guild. So Nick said that would be a mistake, and Craigslist flags them. So I would advise against that. Let's see. Larry, man, I'm sorry, dude. If you feel like we're dropping the ball, man, I'll give your money back. I don't want you to be so upset about it. I mailed it myself. I know I mailed it to everybody. That's all I can do. So I'm sorry, I'm just not in the mood. I mailed it twice. Val mailed it once. We posted it. Honestly, it's an honest mistake. If you don't get a webinar announcement, it really is the email program, not us. All we do is upload a CSV file. I mean, there's nothing else to it. There's no manual intervention. It's not like we're doing it specifically. I get it. I would be frustrated too. I totally get it. It's just that for us, it's frustrating because we really do it. Michael White asked, does Nick have a price? Nick, somebody's asking for 3 posts a day on Craigslist and Backpage. Do you kind of have a standard price?
Yeah, it's $239.
$239, Michael. So the price that for Nick to do it 3 times a day on both services is $239. All right. Yeah, Gary said 3 free leads, then the contract rolls in. That's how he does it. And what he's saying is he gives the business a couple free leads, and then it's a piece of cake to get the deal. Hey, and you guys, here, this shows you the lunacy of the whole thing. Ginger said she's unsubscribed in the past, and she gets emails anyway. I promise you, the last thing we do is add someone back that's been unsubscribed, because that would be a manual process and you would have had to opt in. A lot of times it really is in the email software's hands and not ours. And I have a feeling it's like 95% right. It's never 100%. And that's why some people that should get the emails don't, and some that don't do. And it's just, it's frustrating, and I know that for sure. Noel says, how do you estimate the number of calls a client can potentially get? No, I don't think you can. I think you do it. I think I don't think you can promise unless you have history in that space, in that niche. I don't see it. You could cut it off if you didn't want to have them more than a certain amount, though. Yeah, and RJ said this is GoToWebinar. Sometimes it just doesn't always work right. Let's see. Yeah, recorded calls will be in the local lead driver members area. A few people asked that, you guys, Jim and Jeff. Hey, Robert's asking Nick, population. Nick, larger population, does that always mean better results or no?
No, because your competition is going to be larger too. No, not always.
So yeah, it's not. So Robert, netting it out, bigger isn't always equal more calls. In general, it's usually a good thing, larger population, but sometimes the competition does a number on it. Yeah, and you know what? Just to quit beating this one, but someone else just said, you're saying because I unsubscribed from Brian's list a couple of years ago, then I wouldn't get updates. Unfortunately, yes, you guys. It's pretty shitty, and I don't like it, but it's just how the software works. That's why I asked Val and me to email him out, because I know that happens. And that's why we also posted in the Facebook group too. But that really is the issue. It's kind of crazy, but it's just out of our hands. Let's see. All right. Yeah, Val said get into the Facebook group. Absolutely. You guys, one thing I really recommend, there is so much value in the Facebook group, not from Nick, who's amazing, or Sid, Val, or myself. It's guys like Robert or Rodney or Rebecca or Tony, all the people in the group. I don't remember the guy that posted that cool video on landing clients. It was awesome. Somebody posted an amazing video. I can't remember who it was, but it was...
I just posted the link for the Facebook group if anybody's not in it.
Yeah, you guys sign up. There's no... Everybody has the right to be in there, and the discussion alone is worth so much to you. And you can get information when you want, and you can get help in an instant. So, hey, we got Holly Cotter on the call. Well, hey, Holly. She said she was going to have her assistant do this, but after hearing Nick, and then, of course, Holly, you know I can't scroll on the old Craigslist or on the GoToWebinar. I assume she means she is interested in working with Nick. Yeah, the $239 Larry Null was for both. That was posting in both places, and that was Nick. Hey, and you guys, that's the same price. That's the same price we pay. There's no, we're not involved in this. This is a guy that posts for us. There's no margin or fee or any of that crap on this. Here's a really good question from Rodney. Rodney Garner says, this is for you, Nick. What is the percentage of leads that comes from Backpage versus Craigslist in the U.S., Nick, if you had to guess?
It's probably, wow. I probably get 20% of the leads from Craigslist, from Backpage, but they're a lot better quality leads.
Okay, Rodney, so Nick just answered 80% Craigslist, 20% Backpage, but the quality on Backpage is superior is what Nick said. Hey, apparently the proxy place is out of stock. Bob just shared that we must have sold them out.
I mean, I've given out that link yesterday, and I know several people bought it yesterday.
Hey, Barry Gordon over in Phoenix. Barry, Nick's your man for that model you and I talked about once at breakfast with Jack, was it Jack Mize? Who was it? Or Kevin Wilkie? Somebody. Barry and I had breakfast one day at a conference, and Nick is the guy to talk to about the discussion you and I had. And I won't get into it because it's kind of your deal.
Okay.
Nick, it's right up your alley, though. Elaine Albright says, how do you get paid for your leads? Now, I bill mine using authorize.net. I imagine that others are using PayPal and other services. Let us know how you guys are getting paid, and I'll share it out. So, Barry Gordon, here's a really good question. Brian, I guess this one's to me. Overall, how would you say your ROI is with Nick's services? So, all right, if I pay Nick $250 and I generate $1,200, it's pretty strong. Even if I generate $350, excuse me, and I didn't have to do any work, as long as I'm breaking even, it's a different model because I literally am doing very little other than billing. So, but my ROI has been strong. Some niches, look, let's be honest, some niches better than others. Roofing in Tampa last month was killing me. I only got like 13 calls. So, yeah, Jesse, let me punch your call to tonight, if you don't mind, on ACT, because honestly, I'll let those guys answer that stuff. I know that in small markets, we've done a market with 100,000 people. We had very good results, Robert. I can speak to that directly. Let's see. Okay, Sean, there's a Facebook group that Sid just shared for you. Sean S., you can see it. Sid just shared it. Feel free to go there and you can join the Facebook group. We'll approve you. And then there's a lot of people that are helping in there, and there's a lot of good discussion. Extremely good. We'd love to have you. Robert said he loves the Facebook. And then RJ, let's see. Yeah, and Danny just said, hey, man, we're going to beat this email thing. It must have been a software issue because I've never unsubscribed and I didn't get either invite. Yeah, Danny, it's crazy because I know I talk to you all the time. I know my emails. We've traded emails many times. So it's just one of those things, and that's why we try to make it redundant. Members area, Facebook, and email. Hey, Sid, can you read 406? I can't. It's not letting me.
Yeah. Hold on.
Patrick S., he posted it twice. You see someone advertising, and then I don't see it.
All right, hold on a second. Patrick S.
It's at 4:06 p.m. It looks like a good question. I just can't. I can't get it to.
Okay. What about the concern of quality of leads from Craigslist? I have a response to that. A lot of people. I know, like in the car business, a lot of people are like, oh well, I don't need help selling cars under 10 grand. That's all you get from Craigslist. Well, let me tell you a secret. That's what the public wants. So when you advertise cars under 10 grand, they're going to call, and that is going to be a lot of the leads you get. Well, people tend to have bad credit. Well, guess what, Jack? The public's got bad credit. 75% of the people have less than a 580 beacon. So what's the chance of somebody having bad credit? Pretty large. That's the country you live in. So when people ask, are like Craigslist leads the worse than others? Not really, but like when you put out like low-hanging fruit, it's going to catch the masses, and the masses are going to be what the public is, and that's bogues with bad credit looking for cheap cars. You know what I mean? I think that's funny. Yeah, we used to advertise in free publication magazines, and Auto Trader used to cost $1.25. They honestly thought that people with good credit bought the $1.25 magazine. It's kind of a persona. I don't think it's reality. Although, understand your medium that you're using and advertise accordingly. You want better credit leads? Write your ads different. Car dealers, like I deal with car dealers, as most of you know, they're like, man, I don't need any of those bogue leads. Well, you know what? Well, then quit writing every application is accepted on your ads. You know what I mean? Don't say guaranteed financing. You won't quit writing that. You won't have to worry about it. You will quit getting bogues. You know what I mean? So.
It's funny. We both know the guy. Said he was complaining about the same thing. He said, I stopped using free estimates. And the guy just filed for bankruptcy last month.
Yeah.
Hey, so see, this goes to show you there's just hundreds of these posts right now. A. Robinson, I just saw yours. Please, guys, fourth request. Where is the list from Home Advisor with their pricing? That's posted in the Facebook group in the files section. So in Facebook, just click on files and you'll see it. And let's see. Yeah, Barry, it was Jack Mize. I thought that's what it was. Let's see. Ron says uses QuickBooks with a merchant account to bill. Ron B. And you know what, Paul? Let us regroup, and I'll ask Nick to share in the group some other places to get IPs. Nick, apparently the source you just shared is sold out.
Hey, thanks. And I was going to buy some more tonight.
You know what? Here's a great question. Stephen Roth said, how are house painters? Painting is a niche. Guys, it's unbelievably good, painting. Very, very good niche. And Sid, do you see this question from Patrick? At 4:13 again, you see someone
advertising badly and you want to help, but no numbers or email. What is the best way to contact that advertiser? Well, it will have a Craigslist email that you can contact them.
So you can reply to their ad and let them know. You're going to have to try something.
It's like, because we were buying cars off of Craigslist, and some people would not put their phone number. They wanted to only be contacted by that Craigslist email. And it's just a privacy issue for them, I guess, but you're going to have pretty poor results. I mean, first off, by not putting a better way to contact you.
No, I like it. Okay, so
hey, Brian, I got to be honest, man. Like, yep. I prefer just to hit this head on than sit here and listen to this fucker write this shit over and over on here. Obviously, he's unhappy or something. Listen, how do we use the OTO ads? The ads were advertised as 125 ads for you to review. We are currently creating some PSDs for everybody because some people wanted to use them. That's and above what we were required to do within the course. We're doing that as a favor.
Yeah, okay. So for those of you that in the OTO that got the ads, we actually are creating PSD-based ads with text to go with it to help you. It'll probably be a week or two straight up.
Right. We've never missed anybody. And I can't. I've answered all your questions, Larry W., who keeps thinking he's attacking me for some reason. I'm not trying to be a bad dude, man, but whatever it is, just hit me direct. I'll have an answer for everything. So.
Yeah, and if you have something, if anybody has something that you feel like's private, just reach out to anybody. Everybody's more than glad to help.
He goes, what about the 2 times a day that will increase your call volume by 75%? That's at 8 o'clock and 5 o'clock. However, we're asking Nick about his experiences on this call. But if anybody wants to know what I've learned about Craigslist and was told by a poster, he told me 5 and 8 o'clock you get a higher result.
Now here's a good one. Curtis asks, Nick, why does it seem like one company just dominates a section with their posting? Is that because they're treating it with consistency and they're serious?
Yeah, I mean, they're focusing on, they have somebody that posts thoughts for them, and they're pretty serious about it.
Okay, so Nick just said, they're serious about it, they're focused on it, they're doing multiple ads. Most people that post themselves on these kind of sites, they're kind of like most of us working out, no consistency, right? The advantage of consistency is you start to get what Curtis noticed. You start to look like you dominate it. It's almost like SEO on a page. With consistency, varying subject lines, and a couple different tracking numbers, you can do some scary, scary things. You can generate a heck of a lot of phone calls. Let's see, PSDs. PSDs are, Phil, it's a graphical format that allows you to edit it inside of Photoshop. And so we're going to make that available. Let's see. All right, I'm just reading through. Here's somebody that loved the bonus on the Becoming a Closer video. Yeah, I think you guys will love that. I mean, Mark, I loved it too. I mean, that's all Sid. It's genius. It's about as genius as it gets. All right, I'm gonna. Yeah, domination is a system. Thanks, Robert. Domination is a system. By being systematic, by having 3 to 5 different ads and varying them and posting with different subject lines on a consistent basis, you will build up a volume of ads. When someone searches on any series of keywords around that topic, it's very likely they're going to run into one of your ads and they're going to call. That's all you want is for them to make the phone call. That's it. It's really, really good. Let's see. Here's one. Danny says, Sid, can you see Danny's at 418 about the Rockstar method? And he started.
Yeah, hold on a second. It's let's see.
Scott Goodman, I know. Scott.
418, and it was Danny.
Danny, yep, up in New York. You're talking about we had a bunch of asterisks with the Rockstar.
Okay, yeah. He said the Rockstars used a method of taking a picture and placing it into WordPress. Taking the code and putting it into WordPress, is that a no-no too?
You know what? The Rockstar system actually went into a lot of different things. The whole idea here is keep it simple, silly, right, Danny? So most people fail with local consulting because they make it too complex and they get away from the core. I've talked about this so many times, is all business owners want is more revenue, more clients, but they're willing to take more leads and phone calls, more prospects. And if you can just generate that with a very simple method and monetize the method like we are, it's pretty easy. Now, the Rockstar stuff that they talked about in their Media Mogul course, all of it's pretty cool. You could enhance everything we're doing here with that, but our premise is that what we're doing here is pretty easy. We showed you a bunch of examples of it working. And for those of you that aren't making, say, $10,000 a month plus, this is an amazingly simple model that anyone could do. Anyone could hire Nick. Anyone can post this and have a positive ROI, all while you do it and you have a day job.
It doesn't get any easier. As Google and SEO continues to get tough, this is just amazing. It's really, really good.
Now, I want to kind of add on that, and there's a question I see repetitively asked here. Nick, I call you up and I say I have a roofer in Atlanta. Do I need to write the ads?
No.
What do I need to send you?
Tracking number.
So Nick said you need to send a tracking number, you guys. Your call tracking, that's the most important thing you can have because that's how you determine ROI.
That's it. Nick writes everything. Nick handles everything. You're back on the road. You're back generating revenue.
But let me say this, you guys. Yes, he does that, and he does it for me, but you got to look at him. You got to say, man, all right, I like what he did, but I really wish he would have added this in. And if you feel that way, I mean, some of you are perfectionists. Ask him. He'll tweak it. He'll tweak it same day. He's pretty easy to work with. He did all of my ads, and then I went back to him, and I'm like, all right, Nick, could you add this in? Could you add this here? He does it all, so it's very, very easy.
Okay, no more tweaking for you this month.
Let's see. Yeah, Danny, I haven't done it specifically with the WordPress code like that. I tend to think it's totally fine, Danny. I just haven't done it. Yeah, Terrence, we'll have to get the replay links, and we'll get them over to you. Let's see. Here's a great question that nobody brought up from James Byers. Is a toll-free tracking number better than a local? Personally, I think it's not. I would rather have a local every time. Nick, have you seen anybody using a toll-free with success?
You know, going back to those ads looking too professional. You don't want to look too professional.
Yep, 800, big company, means out of market, means scary, means don't call. I wouldn't do it, you guys. Test it, but I just don't see a reason to. So, yes, Nick does show me the ads, and he shows you or anybody the ads. And the other advantage is Nick, yeah, he's seeing a lot more ads than any of us are going to see. Paul Thornton says, twicking, twilio, or twerking, so no comment. Tony Ramos, man, this is a question for another day, but specifically we use ACT, Analytic Call Tracking, from Joe Troyer and Ben Pate. There are other good packages out there. We just made the decision for quality of software, quality of support, price, etc. That was the horse we wanted to ride, right? We wanted to bet around that product. There are other good products. Theirs is not the only one. We had to pick one that we were going to become proficient in and use. So we find that to be a good one. Many of you have recommended Jack Hopman's product, his call tracker or lead tracker, Jack. We've used it before. The software itself is not bad. The advantage that we find with ACT is there's a team of people. They actually answer the phone when you call. That, for us, that kind of put us over the edge, and they had longer history in the market, a longer track record, and I just had dozens and dozens of people that were raving about them. So that was kind of why I went down that path.
Those of you who don't know, Jack, he might have spammed you last night.
Yeah, so enough said, but we'll maybe do that another day. So let's see. All right, Barry Gordon, I don't see it. Chris Winter's super smart guy, walks the walk. I couldn't be a bigger fan. Sid, if you see what Barry wrote at 423, I can't read it. It's just not letting me scroll on these.
All right, 423 is
Barry Gordon.
Barry Gordon said, "Hey Brian, when getting clients, Chris Winters suggests that you call them potential customers to see how they handle the phone call."
Okay. So he's saying to call them up as a potential client to make sure that they're going to handle the leads right.
Correct.
You know what? Chris has been doing it for a long time. His business is based around this. Very cool. So
I would ghost call. I would ghost call like crazy.
I think it's a smart idea, and you know what? This is why you want 2 or 3 businesses, because what if they don't even pick the phone up? what good are they if they don't answer the phone, right?
Exactly. And also these calls are recorded with a lot of these systems, so you can get a good idea there too.
Oh, somebody said Chris is a spammer. I guess everybody's a spammer in one way or another. Probably all of us. We're spamming Craigslist. We're spamming Google. We're spamming emails. You know, I'll just say, you guys, I met Chris a bunch of times, spoke at an event that I was running once. I mean, everything else aside, you meet that guy face to face, the most genuine quality person you ever meet. I can't speak to anything else, but I can tell you face to face, he's the kind of guy you'd want to be around, you want to spend time with, and you want to associate with. Spamming or not, you can always unsubscribe from the emails, but just, you need to know, though, he's a quality person, a very quality guy. And I know, we didn't work with him on this launch, but it doesn't mean that, anything changed. Super, super guy. All right, so let's see. I'm chuckling on some of the, so here's some good feedback either way. Yeah, Larry just said he comes across well on webinars. Yeah, he does. You guys, genuine, nice. He'd give you the shirt off his back. He'd do anything. Chris helped me on some weight loss stuff and working out. We shared some struggles together, and we've talked so many times. He is. Listen, I don't often promote low-ticket products, and if Chris had a product that came out and made sense, I'd be the first one to sign up to promote it because what he does is typical, quality. So, yeah, I don't know how to get on his emails, you guys. Chris Winters specifically. Chris Beatty's a good guy too, but I'm talking about Chris Winters. Yeah, if you want to see something amazing, if you Google, I don't know his video offhand. I'll have to find it. Chris Winters transformation. You got to see this guy go from roughly 220 or 230 to 175 pounds in like 6 weeks. And just the change is just, I don't know, as a guy that's about that weight, it's just inspiring, you guys. I mean, and I know it sounds like BS, but it is unbelievable.
I haven't weighed 230 since 8th grade.
I'm sorry, I can get down to 230? I'm in.
Yeah, no comment. But you guys, so the absolute essentials is tracking numbers. And I am not going to disparage any other product out there. You guys, there are good tools. Chris has a call tracking tool. Now, somebody told me his was US only. I don't know either way. I use the one that Joe and Ben have based on Twilio. It basically makes easy to use and adds cool features and reporting around Twilio. It's pretty cool. Hopman, a few people saying his support's gotten better. I can't speak to it. I know that the product works, though. For me, having a company with a decent staff here on the East Coast, I can call them up on the phone and answer the phone. That's valuable. If you build a business worth $50,000 a month, it's the infrastructure tooling you use becomes very important. That's all.
Hey, here's a real important question because I've seen it multiple times. I want to answer it real quick for James. He asked Nick, with the $189 per client, does that include one, or can we get ads in different areas? He says, I'm in Delaware, so my potential clients will also do business in Maryland and Pennsylvania. There's an addition to multiple cities. How much is it, Nikki?
It varies. It just really depends on how far do I have to go and what kind of service I have to buy. We should work on that. But, don't forget that it will buy you about 4 posts a day. So if you spread the 4 cities, that's 1 post a day.
Right. The reason, just real quick, I want to clarify too. The reason why you really kind of want to post 3 times a day is to stay on top of the list. It's just like SEO, for instance, but on Craigslist only. The ads come in like first come, first serve. So if your ad gets down to second page, it's like being on second page of Google. You want your ad to continually stay on the first page. So that's why you recommend posting 3 times a day.
To stay on the first page in Atlanta with roofers, you need to post 20 hours a day.
Wow. So that's the reason to outsource. In a big market, the only way to really be uber competitive is probably with an outsourcer in a big market.
Okay, so Patrick asked this question twice. I want to answer it. He said, I thought you were not supposed to contact them through the CL link, yet you just said to do that. I'm confused. Somebody said how to contact the person that's advertising on Craigslist if they have no phone number. That the only way to be able to contact them would be through the Craigslist link. I'm not sure where somebody said don't contact a Craigslist poster that way, but I've had to contact people to buy boats and cars all the time that way. Oh, somebody says not to be contacted for commercial interest. Only if they state not to be contacted. Here's why. There's like these call centers that'll call them up and offer to sell the car for them. You're going to get those calls no matter what. Nick, how many calls a day did we get for that crap? They're going to come no matter what you write. Somebody said, hey guys, the Home Advisor list is in the Facebook group, is from 2010, so it's 3 years old. Do you know where we can get a copy of a current list? We've got a lot of people on the call right now. If you find a more current list, by all means, please post it into the Facebook group. We've got something coming pretty special for you for the Home Advisor stuff that you're going to like here in the next few days. We got to get past Christmas first. Merry Christmas, by the way, everybody. Brian, Nick, are y'all still on?
He's on here?
I think we lost Brian. Let's see, what else? Can you change the ad, the headline, the multiple post ads, or do you need to change the phone number and use a different account for each?
No, you need to change the appearance of the ad. You know, there's so many different ways to show the phone number, but mainly you need to change the title. The title is very important.
But if you'll notice, sometimes you'll see people say like NINE79. You know what I mean? Like they'll spell out one of the words in the phone number. That's to continually change it.
Right. Or the quickest way is to use, if you have a 0, use all instead of 0.
Hey, Brian G., I would start with
Okay.
Act 1, and if you think you need the additional features, then upgrade. Don't spend more money than you have to, you guys. Never do that.
And we're going to, right now, we're just, a lot of people, we're going to answer a lot of these other calls on, or a lot of these questions. We're going to go over that exactly on other calls that we're doing with some of you. But, you know, right now we just want to try, we want to try and pick Nick's brain. If you want to post by yourself or for your, you know, on your own, we want to pick Nick's brain on that. A lot of people are asking like how to pricing strategies and stuff like that. We're going to talk about a lot of that on some other calls.
Yeah, so this is, you know what, we need to wrap this up because otherwise the recording will get out of hand. Let's take the next 3 best questions that are aimed at Nick only, please. It's a very good point, Sid. I mean, yeah, we'll keep it focused, you guys. All right, Nick, Bob asks, what is wrong with clickable ads? What's the challenge there?
Craigslist doesn't like you to redirect their traffic to another website, and I wouldn't either. And that's what those ads are designed for, to take somebody that went to visit Craigslist and pull them into your website.
So Nick just said Craigslist does not want you to divert their traffic to another site, and as a result, they just seem to hammer down on it. Nick, somebody asked about the paid ad feature, top ad, highlight ad, etc. Do you use that? Does it bring good results? Is it worth it?
No, I don't.
Okay, yeah. Nick just said he does not use it, Keith. Can't speak to that. Best 2 to 3 niches to start with. Nick, if you had to start right now by yourself 2 niches, what would they be?
Handyman and the plumber.
Nick just said handyman and plumber would be the 2 niches he would start right now himself. Let's see. All All right, we hit that one. So Jay just asked the 3 best times a day. Now Nick stated, Jay, a couple times business hours. We've done a 10 and 3 successfully, 8 and 5. I personally think if I was going to do 3 times a day, I would do 10, 3, and maybe like 8 p.m. Nick, if you had to pick 3 times, what would they be?
Probably right, 10, 3, and 5, 10, 3, and 7.
Okay, Nick, regarding towing ads, what kind of category do you use for towing?
We use automotive.
Automotive. Okay, very good. So Nick said automotive to that, Mitch. Tony Ramos said, Nick, if I start working with you, how long is the lead time before you'd start posting ads for him?
Well, if you call me at 5, you should have you out about 7.
So is it within 1 or 2 days? Is that what you're saying? Or?
Yeah, no, very, very fast, yeah.
Yeah, very quick, he's saying, Tony, within a day or 2 tops. And he's pretty quick. I mean, he starts my clients the same day I send them. Now, if he gets flooded, could it take 1 or 2 days? I don't think it's going to take him any longer than that. Steven, it's a great question. Steven says, can we use YouTube video to drive leads, or is Craigslist best? The whole point of this was keeping it simple, just using directory sites and harnessing their traffic. But yes, YouTube's an awesome way to drive leads. Separate tracking number and chart how many calls come from there versus Craigslist versus Backpage. That's all you have to do. But it's a great idea. Does Nick ever get sick? There we go. We got a jokester. Let's see. Yeah, you guys. Hey, you know what? Everybody on this call is in the OTO group. I'm gonna pony up some cash out of my pocket. This has nothing to do with Val and Sid. I'm gonna give $500. $500 to whoever generates and shows me a call report in the month of December or January. It has to start after our launch date, from December 15th on or not, with 200 calls or more. So you generate 200 calls or more for a client with Nick or by yourself. If you're the first one, we'll kind of we'll congratulate you, and I'll send you $500 as a way to go gift. So I like contests and challenges. It motivates me, and you guys, I'm more than glad to motivate you. If a little cash on the table helps, let me send you some. So yeah, I just made that up as I was thinking about the kind of stuff that fires me up. So what else? So think about it. We'll post it. We'll post it in the group. You need to be part of the OTO or masterclass group. That's who's on this call. And if you show me the 200 calls, it's the first one. They need to start after the date of the product launch, so after the 15th of December. First one to drive 200 calls gets a little bonus. If you want, we'll PayPal it, wire it, or overnight it to you, whatever you want. Let's see. I love it. All the negotiators trying to get us to set up tiers. You know what? Just when you get it, go ahead and shoot it to Paul Thornton. Paul's good at this kind of stuff. He'll keep up with it. Paul Thornton, and I just gave you his email in the group. Otherwise, or just send me a private Facebook if you want, but I don't want to get a bazillion of them. First one to do it, we'll shoot it over, man. But this, I've already had a bunch of people that are winning, and we want to see all of you making money. And we can make this thing more complex and probably drive more calls, but guess what? Sometimes simple just plain works, and that's the case here.
Yeah.
But Sid, anything else, man? I'm gonna turn it over to you, dude, and I'm gonna get some honey and get ready for the 8 o'clock.
Yeah. No, I think posting in the Facebook group's a great idea. That way, it kind of timestamps it.
Okay. First one in the Facebook group. Ignore Paul Thornton. Sid, you're right, man. And you know what, you guys? If you want to do it from multiple clients and you hit 200, I just need to see 200 calls that start for your clients after the 15th of December, and I'll shoot you 500.
There you go. All right, that's awesome. A lot of these other questions we're going to cover on some additional calls. This isn't going to be our only call. We're going to do some more calls with all of you. So it's totally, totally cool. Don't think that just because you didn't get your question answered here, you can always ask them in the Facebook group. Once again, the link is down in the chat. So you can get questions answered there. Remember, we're in a time crunch right now. We want to deliver a lot of value to you before Christmas, but a lot of people are like, hey man, it's Christmas, what are y'all doing? So we're getting pulled both ways. So we're just trying to do what's best for everybody. But right now, this call, and then we have a call scheduled tonight at 8, and then I'm going to go see my family. I'm going to go hang out with my brother and hug my nieces and wish them Merry Christmas and be good to them. Maybe even go see Nick one more time while I'm headed out of town.
Oh, you are? Nice. Can I get a half too?
Don't be afraid to get in the group. Everybody have a great Christmas, Merry Christmas. If you're not on the call for tonight, jump on it, man. If not, we always record. You never have to ask again. I promise you. We're always recording. Anyways, I appreciate you. Sidra, good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you for your help. I appreciate it.
Yeah, buddy.